Hi, in this video we're going to demonstrate the offset chain option. This is a really powerful tool as well. We're going to do a lot of chaining, working with geometry, both 2D, 3D, and solid edges. And we're going to do a lot of chaining, so this introduces a very important dialogue. So to get started, we need some geometry first. So let's draw our rectangle. Let's change our rectangle size to 5. Accept it. Alt F1, Alt F2. And let's go to offset chains. Okay, now you're going to get two dialog boxes, and this dialog box is old. This is old X9. Okay, dialog box probably goes back farther than that. They'll probably replace this with the next release in 2009, but they have not, because they've been gradually converting all these menus over, and they'll probably continue to do that. Okay, so this dialog box is pretty much the same. It's for a wireframe. If you had solids, could be solids. You could do a 3D or on the construction plane, and we're going to see that that is going to matter in the future when we get into some 3D. Right now it's on the chaining option, and that's what we want. There's also some other options available. Okay, and we're going to learn about those at later times. All right, and then this is select the last point. This is end the chain, unselect, unselect all. And this influences the chaining direction, which is what we're going to see. Okay, and if we have questions at any time, we hit this, and it pops up and gives you some information. Okay. So let's try it out and see what happens. Well, depending on, this is considered a contour. These contours is made up with a chain of 4 entities, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, when we're creating tool paths, in order to run the algorithms, Mastercam needs to know the chain that it's following. So we do a lot of chaining. We do this a lot. Now, where you select influences what direction the chain goes. For instance, I want to do a chain in this direction around the square. I will need to pick on this side below the midpoint here. When I do that, I get this arrow. Okay? That is the direction of chaining. That's going to become important. Okay? In the offset command, not so much, but this will be important later. And you can flip that. What I just did is I made this a single chain. Let's unselect it. Let's do that again. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. This time, let's click here. Notice I was above the midpoint, so now it wants the chaining direction to go this way. That's going to be important when we're trying to control the direction of a cutter around stock. So where you pick it does matter. Okay? You can flip the direction, but this is your new start point. If you click this, you can flip the direction. Let's unselect that. Let's try one more time. We want to go this way. Okay? Once you have your entity selected, and as long as it's a continuous chain. Now, if there's anything wrong with your chain, you're going to get all kinds of warnings. If you have lines on top of lines and so on, those could be problems. We're going to accept that. And now we're going to jump right into the offset dialog. This is the offset dialog. And notice that my original geometry is shown in red, and my offset is shown in purple. Okay? So you've got similar options as was discussed before: copy, move, join, slot. Kind of useful for this kind of geometry. We're going to stick with copy. Same as offset entity, increase the number. Distance, how far away. Depth is the Z direction offset. Okay. Incremental. So that kind of explains that. The direction, define side, opposite side, both sides. Okay, now notice, because this is developed with tool paths in mind, notice how it puts a radius on here. It doesn't put a radius in here because we're going in. But when we're going out, this entity goes out, this entity goes out, and we connect it with an arc. Okay? You can modify handles, modify fillet corners. We can make them sharp. What that means is we want this to be sharp. If we say all, really doesn't have an effect. Okay? We have to roll the cutter to make this sharp. Infinite look ahead, that has to do with, as is shown here. So if there's self-intersecting, self-intersecting Mastercam automatically adjusts for that. Okay? And that's really all there is to it. Okay? So we can accept that. And since we accepted it, they want another chain. Well, I could do a chain on a chain. Okay? That's really all there is to it. Now let's take a look at chamfer. As the name implies, now what can happen is these colors can stick, what I call stick sometimes. Okay, and you may want to clear them. You may want them to be blue. Once you do a few operations, they'll go back. But if you want them to go back right away, if you right mouse click, right here is the clear colors, and it'll take them back to blue. I'm going to do Alt F1, Alt F2. Okay. Let's go back to wireframe and let's look at chamfer. And it's pretty much one distance, two distance, distance, angle, and then width. And you can have it to trim, not to trim. You can change the angle. Okay, so let's make it a quarter, and it'll automatically, you just go around and it'll trim. Okay, now if you change this now, okay, it'll change the one that's not applied. Okay, if you decide not to trim, you'll get both, and then I accept it. Okay, fillet works similar as you would expect. You've got different options. That's normal, that's inverse, that's a circle fillet. Clearance, this will create, just as it says, creates fillets on the inside corners of a contour so that the tool will reach into the corner to remove material. And then relief. Alright, let's try that. And we can accept it. You can also fillet chains. I can also chamfer chains. Let me show you how that'll work. So let's undo. We can, whoops, redo. We can just redo that. Okay. Let's chamfer a chain. Chamfer. There's the chain dialog. Let's chamfer this. Go around. Accept it. Let's change that to 0.375. And I've got 375 chains. Okay, I could do it again because I had applied. Let's fillet chains. There's the chain dialog. Let's chain the outside. Let's accept that. Let's make our radius 1. Let's Let's accept that. So we can fillet and chamfer individual entities, and we can fillet and chamfer chains, as well as we can offset chains. Okay, let's try this on a drawing. So let's do new. Nope, don't want to save that. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do this drawing. There's our PRZ. It's 10 by 5, and we've got some offset geometry. Okay, so let's, we've got this inner is 0.75 offset, this is 0.5, so let's go ahead and create a 10 by 5 rectangle. Accept, Alt F1, Alt F2. All right, let's do offset chains. Let's select our chain. We're going to go this way around. We're going to accept that. Per the drawing, we want to offset 0.75. So we're going to go opposite side, and the distance is going to be 0.75. We're going to apply that. The next entity is going to be this, the next chain. We're going to accept it, and we're going to offset that 0.5. And again, that's coming from here, 0.75 and 0.5. We accept that. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to offset, we're going to fillet chain this to have a radius of 1. Come back to here. We go to, and again, if I want to clear colors, and we're doing this one, we're going to fillet chains. We've got to select our chain. There we go. We accept it. And our radius is 1. That's perfect. Next, we're going to do a 1-inch chamfer on our inner contour. So I go to chamfer, chamfer chains, select the chain, change our chamfer distance to 1. Can accept that. And we are done. So you can kind of see how some of these commands will really speed up our drawings. And those are some of the offset entity, offset chain, chamfer entities, chamfer chain, fillet entities, fillet chain. All very useful. Concludes this video.